Yep, Warren Buffett is a financial genius. Born smarter, better intuition, superhuman instincts. Wrong. Buffett himself said something very different. He said the secret to his success is simple. He reads a lot. Not a few articles, not a newsletter. 500 pages a day. Every day, annual reports, company filings, economic history, biographies, market cycles, 500 pages. That sounds insane. Most people struggle to finish one book a month. Buffett finishes mountains of information every week, which raises a serious question. Why would the richest investor in history spend most of his day reading? Because Buffett knows something about the brain that most people completely miss. Reading is not just how he learns, it's how he trains his mind. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 cognitive systems Buffett built that allow him to think faster, remember more, and make better decisions than almost anyone in business. Chapter 1, the compound brain. Most people think reading gives you information. Wrong. Reading builds mental models, and mental models compound. Buffett once explained it like this. Your brain is like compound interest. The more models you have, the faster you understand new information. Imagine 2 investors looking at the same company. Both see the same financial report, same numbers, same charts. But one investor understands what's happening instantly. The other has no clue. Why? Because the first investor has thousands of patterns stored in his head. The second has none. Buffett didn't build those patterns overnight. He built them by reading constantly. Biographies of CEOs, history of industries, old shareholder letters, failed companies, market crashes. Every book added another pattern, another lens, another mental shortcut. Psychologist Gary Klein studied experts who make rapid decisions under pressure. Firefighters, military commanders, emergency doctors. They all showed the same pattern. They weren't calculating from scratch. They were recognizing patterns. Recognition primed decision-making. Buffett's brain works the same way. When he reads a company report, he isn't just reading numbers. He's comparing them to thousands of companies he's studied before. This pattern looks like Coca-Cola in the 1980s. That cost structure reminds him of Geeko before its expansion. That management behavior resembles mistakes made during the dot-com bubble. The more patterns you store, the faster your brain works. Buffett isn't thinking harder. He's thinking from a massive library. Most people try to build intelligence through effort. Buffett builds it through accumulation. Reading. Every day. But here's the problem though. Most people read a lot and still don't become smarter. Why? Because they're reading wrong? Chapter 2. The reading filter. You probably read like everyone else. You start at page 1. You go page by page. You finish the entire book. Wrong strategy. Buffett doesn't read books like normal readers. He reads like a predator. Charlie Munger once described Buffett's reading style. He flips through material aggressively, scanning, skipping, looking for signal, ignoring noise. Buffett reads hundreds of pages because most of those pages are useless. He's searching for the 10% that matters. This is the same concept economists call signal detection. Most information is noise. Few ideas actually move decisions. Buffett reads massive volumes to find the rare insights buried inside. Think of it like gold mining. You don't dig for 1 gram of gold. You dig tons of dirt. Buffett reads tons of information because the valuable ideas are rare. But once he finds them, they stick. Research from Princeton shows experts filter information differently from novices. Beginners treat every fact equally. Experts instantly recognize what matters. They ignore everything else. Buffett developed this filter by reading for decades. The more he read, the faster he could detect signal, which means the real advantage of reading isn't the pages, it's the pattern recognition that develops over time. And this creates a dangerous advantage. Because once your brain builds enough patterns, new information becomes easier and easier to understand. This is cognitive compounding. The rich get richer, and the smart get smarter. Buffett once told students something brutally honest. If you read 500 pages every day, knowledge builds up like compound interest. But almost nobody does it. Why? Because reading is slow, boring, uncomfortable. And that's exactly why it works. But here's the thing though, reading alone still isn't enough. Because information without memory is useless. Which leads to Buffett's 3rd system, Chapter 3, the memory reinforcement loop. Most people read and forget everything. A week later, it's gone. The forgetting curve destroys it. German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered this in the 1800s. Without reinforcement, your brain forgets most information within days. Buffett solves this differently. He doesn't try to memorize. He reinforces ideas through application. Every time Buffett reads about a business model, he compares it to companies he's studying. Every time he reads about management behavior, he evaluates CEOs he knows. Every book connects to real decisions. This is called elaborative encoding. Your brain stores information deeper when it connects to something meaningful. Buffett isn't reading passively. He's constantly asking questions. What does this mean for Coca-Cola? Would this work for Apple? What mistake did this CEO make? How would I avoid it? When information becomes useful, the brain flags it as important, and it stays. Buffett once said something that perfectly explains his learning system. I just sit in my office and read all day. Sounds lazy. But it's actually one of the most powerful learning systems ever built. Because while others are reacting to news, Buffett is upgrading his brain. Daily, slowly, relentlessly. But here's the real twist. The 500 pages aren't about speed. They're about exposure. The more information you see, the more patterns your brain builds. And once your brain has enough patterns, decisions become obvious. This is why Buffett can read a financial report and decide within minutes whether a company is worth billions. Not because he's a genius, because his brain has seen thousands of similar cases before. And this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, why most people can never replicate Buffett's system. Chapter 4, the boredom advantage. Most people can't read 500 pages, not because they lack time, because they lack tolerance for boredom. Your brain is addicted to dopamine, notifications, short videos, endless scrolling, quick stimulation. Reading is the opposite. Long, slow, demanding. But here's the twist. Neuroscience shows deep reading activates something called the default mode network, a system in the brain responsible for complex reasoning and long-term planning. The same network used for strategy, investing, creative thinking. But this system only activates during slow, focused cognition, not during scrolling, not during rapid media consumption, which means the modern information environment is quietly destroying the very brain systems needed for deep thinking. Buffett built his brain in a different era, before smartphones, before constant distraction. His advantage isn't just knowledge, it's cognitive endurance, the ability to sit with difficult information longer than almost anyone else. And endurance beats intelligence, every time. Most people read headlines. Buffett reads history. Most people read summaries. Buffett reads entire industries. Most people react to news. Buffett studies decades, which is why he sees trends before others even notice them. The truth is brutal. Buffett's reading habit isn't impressive because it's extreme. It's impressive because it's rare. Almost nobody has the patience to build a brain like that anymore. But if you did, your thinking would change permanently. Decisions become clearer, patterns become obvious, and complex problems start looking simple. But here's the problem though. Even if you start reading more, most people still remember almost nothing from the books they finish. Which means the real question isn't how much you read, it's how much you remember. That's why I made this video breaking down the exact system memory champions use to remember everything they read. And once you see it, you'll never forget a book again.